Hello, hello. So today we are going to be talking about 4 signs that you may be ready to change your life, mama. And at this point, if you've been following for long enough, you know that I'm not just going to leave you hanging with those 4 signs, but we are also going to dive into what the heck to do about it if you feel like you are ready to change your life. So let's do this, mama. The first sign that you may be ready to make a change in your life is if you are feeling frustrated with your lack of progress. This was me for years. I would set the goals, I would do the things, I would get bored, I would not see progress, and I would get frustrated, especially for things like my physical health and financial goals. Like I felt like I was sacrificing and trying and doing all the things the experts told you to do, and I was on the struggle bus. So if you are feeling frustrated with your lack of progress on your goals, that may be a sign that you are ready to change something in your life. The second sign that you may be ready to make a change is if you are looking at other people around you and you are feeling jealous. I could talk about this all day. I have big feelings about this. But as a society, I feel like we always sort of talk about jealousy as like a very negative emotion. Like you don't want to feel jealous, right? You don't want to look across the PTA meeting and see this mom, with her hair all perfect and her, fancy designer bags and her perfectly sculpted body. And you don't want to feel that pang of like, oh, why does she have it and I don't? I get that. That's not something we look for as human nature. But what I challenge you to do is to notice when you're feeling jealous, because I think it gives you a lot of information about what you're missing in your life. So it's kind of like when you were pregnant and I remember the doctor telling me, like, if you are craving something, stop and think about why you're craving it, because maybe you're missing a certain nutrient group or something like that. So I dug really deep trying to figure out why I was craving Choco Tacos. And I decided it was just because Choco Tacos are amazing. So it's the same way with your personal growth. The people that I was jealous of were stay-at-home moms. When I had my first daughter, I wanted to stay home so badly. It hurt. And we tried and we just couldn't figure out how to make it happen. And so I would see pictures on Facebook of my mom friends that were able to stay home and go to music class in the library. And I was so crazy jealous. So I could have just left it at that, like, oh, they have this, I don't, poor me, and go on with my life. Or what I did was I noticed and I dug deep. What do they have that I don't have, that I want? What am I missing? What's the nutrient that I'm missing, like the pregnancy example? And the thing that I was missing was time freedom. As a teacher, no matter how well I managed my time, I had to be there at 7:55 a.m. and I could not leave until 3:55 p.m. no matter what. And that drove me nuts. And I disliked that I couldn't be flexible and I couldn't be present for my kids in the way that I wanted to be. So the second sign that you may be ready to change your life is if you were feeling jealous, but don't leave it at the surface there. Make sure that you dig a little deeper with it and figure out why you're feeling jealous, because that could give you a lot of information. The third sign that you are ready to make a change in your life is if it takes you a lot of effort and energy to get yourself moving in the morning for what you need to do. Whether you are, driving to work, like I swear I would start to drive slower and slower to work every day, and like the anxiety would build. So there was a certain intersection right before I turned to get to my building where I was just like, by the time I hit there, I was far gone, anxiety wise. So just kind of noticing if that's a struggle for you. Maybe you're a stay-at-home mom and just like the morning, you're just like, oh my goodness, I can't do this again. Like getting the kids out the door and whatever it is. Just noticing how that feels, how getting started with your day feels. I think we all have those days where we're tired, we stayed up too late last night, maybe there's a sick kid, something stressful is going on. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the everyday. Like, are you noticing a pattern that you're resisting certain areas of your life, certain times of the day? Look into that, because that may be a sign that you're ready to change your life. And then the fourth and last sign that you may be ready to change your life is if you find that you are distracting yourself a lot. And when I notice this the most is with like my phone. So if something is stressing me out at home, like for example, we've just finished a big kitchen renovation. And so our kitchen was like covered in like dust and grime, and we had paint projects like half started, and all the dishes were in weird places, and it was just chaos. I noticed that like from the moment I got home, I would like whip out my phone and like distract myself, like so that I wasn't physically like dealing with the chaos around me. So if you start to notice yourself doing that a lot more, you may want to pay attention to that and ask yourself, what am I distracting myself from? Like, what am I avoiding right now? Because again, that could give you a lot of information. So I know I said just 4 signs, but there's also like a secret 5th that I'm not going to get too far into. But if you're feeling just a general feeling of defeat, like every day, like I don't want to, like Sunday scaries, Monday through Friday, or Sunday through Sunday, or whatever, that is also a huge red flag that maybe you are ready to change your life. That also may be a signal that you should kind of pull in some extra help. I have worked with multiple therapists in the past for myself, and life coaches and business coaches and all the things. So if you're feeling just like this general feeling of defeat, you may want to seek some professional help with that, just to kind of identify the source of it. But I did feel like I wanted to mention that just in kind of the list of signs to pay attention to. All right, so what the heck can you do about it? So maybe you said yes, maybe you said hell yes to one or more of these signs that you're ready to change your life. What do you do now? So your first step is to identify what is working and what isn't. This is hard. A lot of times we're quick to identify what's not working, but then we don't go any deeper. We don't try to figure out why it's not working or what tweaks we can make to make it better. I strongly recommend like kind of journaling this out in your map book. I mean, there were plenty of seasons of life where I would have a list of like when I was leaving teaching. It was like literally I had a pros cons list for leaving teaching. And those lists got pretty intense, let me tell you. And I still have them as a reminder of that season of life. But take the time to really notice what's working and what's not. Because the other thing is there may be enough things working that you decide that you want to focus your energy on a different area. So that's something to consider as well. And that's something that I help my one-on-one coaching clients sort of figure out together. Your second step for kind of tackling your next action is to define what your dream life looks like. Now, back in episode 48, I really got into how to design your dream life vision. And I know that sounds hokey, mama, but in order to get to where you want to go, you need to identify your destination. It's like setting your GPS to like go to, Ohio. It's like, okay, it's going to get you like sort of to Ohio, but like, is that exactly where you want to be? Like, where do you want to be in Ohio? Like really getting specific on what you want. So that is something, and I have a new resource for. If you are looking to define what your dream life looks like, I have a dream life quiz for you. I linked it below in the video description. It is 12 questions, pretty painless, less than 5 minutes. And at the end, you will get emailed to you your dream life vision kind of starting point. And you will get, this is the best part, I'm so excited about this. You will get 3 action steps that you should take next to start making your dream life your real life. So if you are interested in that, be sure to check out the link in the video description. Moms have been absolutely like freaking out about it. I've gotten so many DMs in the last few days. People are loving it. They said it's really given them direction and inspiration. So if you're looking for that, absolutely check out the quiz. The next thing you can do if you're noticing some of those signs is focusing on the areas that are going to make the most impact. I think the reason a lot of us burn out on our personal growth journeys is because we're like, okay, I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to read 3 books a week. I want to go on weekly date nights with my husband. I want to get a new career. I want to triple my income. I want to increase my savings by 150%. I want to, and then what happens? Like nothing, because that's so much, that's so overwhelming. And are you really moving towards your dream life, or are you just kind of like distracting yourself with these big audacious goals that you're not really making any progress towards? So the Dream Life Quiz will actually help you with this. It's going to tell you what area to focus on first, and it's going to give you the next 3 action steps so you can make progress on it quickly. That is the secret sauce to creating your dream life vision is those next steps in actually implementing them. Because what's going to happen is you're going to see progress. You are. If you focus on one area, you're going to see growth if you stay consistent and stay patient. And then it's like the rising ships in the harbor, right? As one area starts to improve, some other areas are going to improve as well. So don't be afraid to really focus on one thing, because I promise you the other things will start to fall into place. So the quiz will help you with this. One-on-one coaching, this is like all we do, is instead of adopting 1,200 new habits, we focus on the one or two that are going to raise your ships, going to help you in all areas. Last, the final step that you can take once you have identified that you want to make a change in your life is taking action. I get it. I'm a planner. I will plan forever. It's taking action that's the scariest part. It's hitting the send button on the request. It is, waking up at 5 a.m. when you don't want to. It's all of those things. So taking action is that final step towards pulling you away from the life that you are in now and pulling you towards your dream life. I know it's scary, but I'm here with you 100% of the way, mama. Okay, so next week, I'm going to be getting pretty vulnerable on here. I'm going to be sharing with you what my dream life vision is today for my future. So I've made a few jumps in the past few years. I was a teacher and I was not happy, and I created my dream life, and now I'm living it. I'm living my dream life right now. I was able to drop my daughter off at school this morning just because she wanted some extra one-on-one mom time, and I was able to give it to her. Like, living the dream life. But is this my ultimate dream life? No. I still have another, I'm sure multiple jumps, but right now I'm looking at that next dream life vision that I want to tackle. So that is what I'm going to be sharing with you. My intention behind it is just to inspire you and to show you that I have these goals that I have no flipping idea how I'm going to figure them out. I don't know how they're going to happen, but I have them and I'm going to share them with you. So I hope you'll join me in next week's episode to chat more about that. Thank you so much for being here, mama. Remember, keep growing. Little eyes are watching, and I'll talk to you soon.